You hear me now? Perfect.
This story goes back a long time ago. It was during the time of the Shpoler Zeideh, before he was born.
Wait a minute. You just said it was during the times of the Shpoler Zeideh. How could it be during the times of the Shpoler Zeideh if it was before he was born?
You're right. It was right before the times of the Shpoler Zeideh.
I knew it. It's a story of, I know this story already.
What's the story?
I forgot. You say the story and then I'll remember.
Okay. This was the story many years ago, before the Shpoler Zeideh was born. He wasn't in the world yet. But there was a man, his name was Rebbe Yisrael. Later, he became Rebbe Yisrael Baal Shem Tov, the Baal Shem Tov. Before he became the Baal Shem Tov, he wasn't known, he wasn't famous. And he would go to the mountains with his little pony.
Okay, I have to go to the mountains with my pony.
Wait, what do you mean your pony? You don't have anything in your hair. I don't see any ponies.
No, not that kind of pony. I need to go with my horse.
Oh, your horse. Right, your horse. So why you call it a pony?
'Cause we couldn't afford a big horse, so we got a small little horse. It's called a pony.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
So I'm going now to the mountains. I'm going to attach a wagon on the back, a little cart on the back of the pony. We're going to go to the mountains. This way I can fill it up with clay from the mountains.
I didn't know there's clay on the mountains. Could we go to the mountains next time together? And we'll make a nice clay project. We'll make a menorah out of clay. A dreidel we can make out of clay.
No, this is clay for people that build houses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the mountains, get the clay, put it in the wagon, and then the horse is going to carry it to the market. We're going to sell it over there. This way we can have money to buy food and maybe some food for the horse also, because he's getting a little bit old and I think he might get hungry sometimes. We don't have enough money to buy him a lot of food, but we could buy him some food. This way he won't die on our faces.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And so the Baal Shem Tov took his horse, and he went up to the mountains, and he started to fill up his wagon, his cart, with all the clay from the mountains. It was very hard work, but he would fill up his wagon, his cart, with all the clay, and the poor little horse would then go down the mountain with this heavy cart, and he'd come to the marketplace.
Who wants to buy some clay for maybe if you're building a house or maybe a building? This is very good clay, straight fresh off the mountain.
Ah, sure. I want to buy some clay. Can I have a little tiny drop of clay?
No, I usually sell a lot of clay for people that are building houses.
I know, but I just want to make a little tiny dreidel and with gimel on all sides. Is that okay?
No, that's not okay. That's called cheating.
Oh, okay. Could I buy a lot of clay? I want to build a house that looks like a dreidel.
You want to build a dreidel house?
Yeah, I want to build a dreidel house, and I'm hoping it could be maybe purple. Is that okay?
Well, I'm not a painter. I just sell clay.
Okay, I'll take the clay.
And this is how the Baal Shem Tov used to support himself before he was the famous Baal Shem Tov. And one day, he got his horse ready to go up to the mountain.
Okay, we're ready to go up to the mountain. You ready, horsey? Horsey, you ready to go up to the mountain? I don't think he's ready to go up to the mountain yet. Are you feeling okay? I bought some little oats for you to eat. I was hoping that'll make you feel better. I guess the horsey doesn't want to go up to the mountain. I don't know what to do. He's not in the mood anymore. I think he's getting a little bit too old to go and schlep all this clay. Let me ask my friends. Maybe they have some ideas what I could do. Excuse me?
Yeah, what is it? How can I help you?
Oh, I need some advice. My horse, I usually take it to go get clay from the mountains to sell, but I think it's getting a little bit old, and I don't know what to do anymore.
Oh, I have a good idea for you. You should know there's a guy. His name is Rebbe, and he is not a very big Torah scholar. He doesn't know Torah so well, but he does a lot of chesed, a lot of good things. So I heard that if you go to him with a very old, verkrochene, verhackte, verstunken, nice, if you go to him with an old horse, is what I'm trying to say, I heard that he is going to give you a brand new horse, fresh, like it was just born yesterday.
Oh, really? That's a good idea. I didn't know about him.
And sure enough, the Baal Shem Tov and his wife, Chana, they went all the way to the city where Baruch lived. And they come there and they were amazed. You could see he didn't have a lot of money, but Baruch had one house that was his, and next to it a nice big house that he would give to his guests, a special guest house. And the Baal Shem Tov knocked on the door.
Who's there?
Oh, hi, my name is Reb Yisrael, and I was wondering if I could just, I have my little old horse over here. I was wondering if maybe I could trade it for you for something else.
Oh, of course. Come in. Hi, how are you? Oh, yes, I see that horse. Very good. I'm going to take the old horse, and I'm going to give you a very nice, fancy, good horse to have. This way, you can do whatever you need.
Oh, thank you so much.
And as a matter of fact, it's almost Shabbos, so why don't you stay in my guest house? You could stay there. I'm going to make sure you have food for Shabbos. Take good care of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And the Baal Shem Tov stayed in the guest house of Reb Baruch for the whole Shabbos. And he gave him very good food and a very nice Shabbos. Finally, Shabbos was over. They had a little Malava Malka. They had a nice meal. And then the Baal Shem Tov went to his room in the guest house. Meanwhile, Baruch is in his house and he looks out the window.
It's a very nice night tonight. Time for me to go to sleep. Oh boy! Ah! What is that? It looks like there's a fire inside my guest house. Oh no! I better go fast. Let me go there fast.
And he runs to his guest house. He opens the door.
It looks like the fire is somewhere coming from the room of the Baal Shem Tov. Let me look inside. Oh no, it's not a fire. There's some sort of very shiny light coming from the room.
He looks inside the room, and over there he sees the Baal Shem Tov is sitting on the floor, and his eyes are closed. And the Baal Shem Tov is saying Tikkun Chatzos. He's saying a special davening that we say in the middle of the night to ask Hashem to build the Beis HaMikdash. And from the Baal Shem Tov's face, there's a very shining light. And he's looking, and he sees standing right next to the Baal Shem Tov, there was a man with a long white beard and a white clothing. And he was so shocked from what he saw that Reb Baruch fainted right away on the floor. And the Baal Shem Tov heard the noise coming from outside. He right away runs out.
What's going on? Oi, Reb Baruch, looks like he fainted. Let me help him out. And put some water on him. Hey, Reb Baruch, are you okay?
Sorry, I'm fine. Oi, what was that? In your room there was a light, and I saw there was an old man there.
Oh, I'll tell you what it was. I was davening, and you should know that.
What do you mean you were davening? That means that you're a very special yid. I'm sorry. If I would have known, I would have treated you much better.
No, you don't have to worry. As a matter of fact, I heard from Shemayim that you're going to have a very special bracha. You're going to have a son. And this son is going to be someone very special. And, as a matter of fact, even though you didn't have children till now, he's going to grow up to be a very big tzaddik.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. But I really want to know, who was that person in the room with you? I see he's not there anymore.
You saw the other person there?
Yeah, I saw he had a white beard and he had a white clothing.
Well, if you saw him, then I could tell you who he was. He was actually the Maral of Prague that came back down from Shemayim to daven with me for you, because you come from the Maral of Prague. And his name was Reb Yehuda Lowy. So I want that this baby that you're going to have now, you should give him the name Aryeh Leib. It's almost like Yehuda Lowy.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's good to hear this bracha.
And the Baal Shem Tov left. He went back home. And sure enough, Reb Baruch's wife comes to him the next day.
I think maybe I'm a little bit pregnant
What do you mean a little bit pregnant?
because today I threw up.
What does that have to do with being pregnant?
Because someone told me when you're pregnant, sometimes you throw up.
I don't think that maybe.
And they come back a week later to him.
Yeah, I think now I'm really pregnant because my stomach is getting a little bit bigger.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, and maybe because I ate too much, but I think it's because I'm pregnant.
Okay, we'll find out.
And sure enough, a few weeks go by and they find out that she's actually pregnant and they're going to have their first baby and they're very, very excited.
Oh boy, can't believe it. We're gonna have a baby. You know, I want that this Rebbe Yisrael that came to our house and gave us this special news that we're gonna have a baby. I want him to come to the bris, but I don't know if he's gonna want to come. You know what? What we'll do is we'll invite all the poor people from the whole entire region, from everybody, to come to this bris.
And sure enough, the baby boy is born. And 8 days later, they have the bris. And Reb Baruch is very excited. He has a very nice meal set up, just like you have over here with the challah and the lettuce. And they're ready for the bris. And Reb Baruch is looking around, and he sees in the corner, dressed up like a very poor old man, is Reb Yisrael, who later became the Baal Shem Tov. But nobody knew who he was except for Reb Baruch. And so Reb Baruch went over to him, and he said,
Can I ask you a favor? I know that you're a very, very special person. Maybe if you don't mind, you could be the sandik by the bris to hold the baby when they're doing the bris.
No. No one's allowed to know that I'm a special person.
Oh, okay, fine.
and sure enough, the baby has a bris. But Reb Baruch's thinking,
I really want that the special yid should give a bracha to my baby. So I have to think of something, what I could do. So he'll give a bracha. Oh, I know.
and he gets up on a chair, and he says,
Okay, for this bris, we're going to have something very special. The baby's going to go around, and everyone's going to put their hands on the baby and give the baby a bracha.
and that was his idea. And sure enough, the baby came all the way to the Baal Shem Tov. And this baby's name was, who remembers? Aryeh. Very good. You got it. You almost got it. You got it. Aryeh. And the Baal Shem Tov said,
I'm a very simple man. I don't know so much. But the little bit I know is that it says Vavram Zokein. It means that Avram was like a Zeideh. So I gave a bracha to this baby. He should be like Avram, that he should be the Zeideh for all the Yidden, like helping everybody in that way, that he should be their Zeideh.
and all the people that were by the bris started to laugh. That's a funny bracha. He called the baby. He said the baby's a Zeideh. But the baby doesn't have a beard, but he said he's going to be a Zeideh. I don't know. He says Zeideh now. I think we're going to call him the Zeideh baby. And sure enough, this Zeideh baby used to live in the town called Shpoler. And that's why they called this baby the Shpoler Zeideh. And that is what we're celebrating today, the Simcha of the Shpoler Zeideh, who had the special schus of being born from the bracha, the Baal Shem Tov. And as a matter of fact, the reason why we're celebrating here today, who knows why? Anybody? You want to come up? You know the story? You want to say very quickly the story? Just like quickly, what the story was.
So the Shpoler Zeideh, he was going, and it was very cold. So when he went went safely. But when he came back, the ice cracked, and he said, "Who wants Gan Eden?" And then his Gabbai Yalak, he said, "Me," and he jumped in. And then when he came back, he had a separate room where he used to daven, and everyone was waiting. And then they knocked on the door, and he said, "Yalak is in Gan Eden." And then when he came out a few minutes later, he said, "Yalak is in Gan Eden. We could start looking around and all."
Very good. That's the story that the Shpoler Zeideh was saved from the water, from the ice. He fell in when the ice broke, and he was saved. That's what we're celebrating today, when he was actually on his way back from a bris. So it has to do with this story of the Shpoler Zeideh and the bris, of his bris, when he was given the name the Shpoler Zeideh. Even when he was already 8 days old, they already called him a Zeideh. That is the end of the Shpoler Zeideh story, and now we're going to see if maybe we have time for one more story. We're going to check. We're going to ask the Rabbi Afton. Rabbi Afton, we have time for one more? 20 minutes. Okay. You guys could come a little closer. You don't have to be so far because this mic is only for the people watching on the video, but you can't hear me. So if you come closer, you'll be able to hear me better. Is that a good idea? Or you don't want to hear me? You just want to sit and relax? You could sit and relax and hear me also. You could try it. It might work. Oh. How many minutes? I don't know how much time we have. Okay. This story goes back even longer before that. When the Baal Shem Tov... Should we do a Baal Shem Tov story or a different story? Who wants a Baal Shem Tov story? Raise your hand. Who wants a different story? Raise your hand. Okay, maybe we'll do a different story. And that because we already had a Baal Shem Tov story, we have to give everybody turns. This story is actually during the times of Shlomo HaMelech. After he passed away, there was a king who was sitting on his throne.
Oh boy, I like my throne here because it's a very nice throne, especially because I'm a king. But I was wondering maybe there's a problem because I think this throne is a little bit too small for me.
Yeah, definitely. That throne is too small for you. I think we need to come up with a solution to this problem because you're eating more and more food and you're getting fatter and fatter. So I think that's the problem that you can't fit.
No, he said from now, 20 minutes.
Okay, so I think what you need is a new throne.
Oh, well, actually, I had a better idea. Maybe instead of having this small throne, I could get a new throne, and this way I'll fit inside of it.
That's what I just said.
No, but my idea was better because I thought of getting a bigger throne. As a matter of fact, why don't you call my advisors in? I want their opinion.
Okay, I'll go call your advisors. I can't believe it. The king thought it was his idea. It was really my idea, but we won't tell him. Okay. Advisors, where are you?
Yeah, what is it?
How can we help?
The king wants you to go to him.
Okay, we're coming.
And the advisors come into the throne room of the king. And the king sitting on his throne.
Well, listen here, advisors. I need your opinion because the throne I have is a little bit too small, and I was thinking of getting a bigger one, but actually, I was thinking maybe I could get one just like Shlomo HaMelech had, because I heard he had a very nice throne, and I want to get one just like he had. Oh, I know that throne. Yeah, I heard about it. There's lions, and there's a bird on top. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want to have. Well, I don't know how to make it.
Yeah, I also don't know how to make it.
Well, you better figure it out. Wait a minute. I know you. Aren't you a descendant? Don't you come from Shlomo HaMelech? Yeah, but I don't know how to make it. Well, I really want you to make it, so if you don't figure it out fast, you're going to be in big trouble. Oh, no. Big trouble. That's not good. Okay, I better figure it out then.
And sure enough, he has to start thinking of something he could do. So he goes to his grandmother's house, and he knocks on the door.
Who's there?
Oh, it's your grandson. I need your help.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, hello, how can I help you?
Oh, listen, I need to make a throne just like Shlomo HaMelech had, and I was wondering if maybe you could help me.
Well, why do you need to do that?
Well, you see, the king really wants to have the same exact throne.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, maybe I have in the basement. Maybe I have the instructions.
And they go down to the basement, and they find the instructions to make this throne. If anyone didn't get, raise your hand. If you didn't get, raise your hand. Food. Everybody got food? And he's very excited. He goes back to the king and he says,
Listen, King, I'm very excited because I have the instructions and I know how to make the throne just like Shlomo Melech had. Oh, that's very good, very good. Okay, so I'll give you everything you need. I'll give you all the supplies. I'll get workers for you.
but I want it to be built very fast, okay? And sure enough, just a few weeks later, the throne is all ready.
Listen, King, the throne is ready, but there's one problem, is that I didn't know how to paint it. So, it's almost ready. I just don't know how to paint it exactly. We need to find someone that could paint it. Who could paint it? I think my other advisor, maybe he knows how to paint. Advisor,
Yeah, what is it?
do you by any chance know how to paint?
Oh, sure, I'm a very good painter. Why?
Well, you see, we have this very nice throne. It looks just like what Shlomo Melech had, but we didn't paint it yet. So I was wondering if maybe you could paint it. I'll pay you, don't worry.
Oh, sure, no problem. And the throne gets painted, and it's all ready, and the king is very excited. He decides he's going to make a big party and invite everybody to his party to celebrate his brand new throne.
Messenger, can you invite everybody to my party?
Okay, we'll invite everybody to the party. All right, let me get on my horsey. Okay, everybody, a big announcement. We're having a party because we're celebrating the new throne of the king, so everyone's invited. And there's going to be a lot of burgers and french fries if you come. It's going to be very yummy, maybe even some ketchup if you're lucky. But it's very hard to get the ketchup because you have to open up the little packet and squeeze it out, so it might be a problem. But if you come to the party, we'll teach you how to do it.
And everyone's very excited. The king is going to make a party.
And sure enough, they come to the party, and the king is sitting on his brand new throne.
And it looks just like the one that Shlomo Melech had. And in the middle of the party,
My voice knows. My voice knows that the mic doesn't work.
in the middle of the party, this advisor that painted the throne, he goes over to the king. And he says, King, I know you're very excited about your new throne, but you should just know that I think that Jewish advisor of yours, the one that you hired to make the throne, I think he stole some of the gold and silver that you gave him to make the throne. I think he stole it.
Well, how do you know that?
I think I saw him in a very, very fancy house, so that must mean he stole it because he's doing renovations on his house. He's making it very fancy. So I think if we weigh that throne and we see how much it weighs, you'll see it weighs less than the amount of gold and silver that you gave him to make it.
Oh, okay.
And sure enough, they weigh the throne. The way they do it is they put in a big swimming pool of water. And they see how high the water goes.
Okay, I think it's up to here, the water. Let's make a line.
And they take out the throne. And then they put into the same water. They put in all the gold and silver, the same amount that the king gave to this yid to make his throne.
Hey, look at that. The line, the water went even higher. That means that there's more gold and silver here than there was on the throne. That's not... Wait a minute. Does that mean my Jewish advisor stole my gold and silver? I can't believe it. Messenger,
Yeah, what is it, King?
I want you to take my Jewish advisor and throw him in the water.
He's gonna go swimming in the water?
No. I want you to tie him up and throw him in the water.
But wait a minute. If we tie him up and we throw him in the water, I think that maybe he won't be able to swim.
I don't want him to swim
Oh, so why are we throwing him in the water?
because I want him to drown.
Why didn't you say so? Okay. Where's the Jewish advisor? Advisor, come here. The king told me to tie you up. 1 second.
Why are you tying me up?
Because he said you stole some gold and silver.
I didn't steal any gold and silver.
That's what he said. Because there was some gold and silver missing.
No, that's probably because some of the workers must have taken it.
The workers, the schmirkers, you were in charge, so you're going to go tie it up now on the back of the horse. Here we go. Here we are, all the way by the water. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Choo!
And they threw the Jewish advisor in the water all tied up.
Okay, I think that's it for him. I'm going to go now, and goodbye.
Oh boy, I think I just saw They threw the king's advisor in the water. I gotta think of something what I could do. I know, I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna go save him. That's a good idea. Where is he? Oh, here he is. Oh, he's so heavy. 1 second. Oh, boy. He looks like he's not breathing so well. Maybe he drank some water. Let me try to get the water out of his stomach. 1 second. Oh! Oh, boy. Just got some water in my face. Don't worry about it. Let me just take the water out of his stomach. 1 second. Oh! Okay. I think the water was wet. I didn't know the water was going to be wet. Nobody told me. You knew the water was going to be wet? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine now, thank you. If you don't mind, you could untie me. That would help me too.
Oh, sure. Let me untie you. What happened? Why did the king throw you in the water?
Well, you see, the king thinks that I stole some gold and silver from him, but I really didn't, and it's not true.
Oh, we should really tell the king that it's not true.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna believe us. I think the king just wants me to be in the water.
Oh, no. So maybe you should hide before they catch you again and they throw you back in.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, but I don't have where I could hide.
Oh, that's not a problem. You could hide in my house. I have a very nice house. No one goes there. No one will see you.
And sure enough, the king's advisor, he goes to this person's house and he stays there for a while. Till one day, they hear the king's messenger coming.
Oh, boy. I think the king's messenger is coming. You better hide before he sees you because he thinks you're in the water and you're not alive. So better you should hide.
Hello, everybody. I have a very special announcement from the king. He said that he lost his ring, and he said that whoever finds it, he's going to give them a big prize, whoever finds the king's ring.
Oh,
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
okay, can I come out yet?
Yeah, I think the king's messenger left now. You could come out.
Okay, but now I was wondering maybe we could do something interesting.
What do you mean something interesting?
I was thinking maybe we could do something like go fishing.
Ah, that's a good idea. We could go fishing.
And they go to the water with their fishing rods. Okay.
I don't really know how to fish though.
It's very simple. All you have to do, you take the fishing rod and you throw it in the water.
Okay.
No! Not the whole thing, just a string you throw in the water.
Oh, why didn't you say so? You said to throw the fishing rod.
I meant the string. Oh. Let me go get it. 1 second. Here's your fishing rod. Now listen. You only throw the string in the water. That's how you go fishing.
Oh, okay. We throw the string in the water. Oh, I think I might have caught something.
You caught my shoe.
Oh, sorry. I thought I threw it in the water. I must have missed. Let me try again. 1 second here. Phew. Oh, it went in the water. Okay.
And a few minutes later,
Oh, I think we caught something here. Oh boy. Someone's pulling on the string. Let me pull it out.
Oh, I'll help you. 1 second. Oh, it's a big fish. Oh boy. I never saw such a big fish. And look at that. It has fins and it has scales, so I think we can eat it. That's a good idea. Let's go home now and eat it.
and they go back to the house, and he takes his knife and he starts cutting open the fish.
I think the knife broke. There must be something in there. Let me see what's in there. What is it? It's a ring? Oh, you're right. Hey, it's a ring. Let me look at it. Hey, I recognize this ring. This is the ring that the king used to wear.
What? How did the king's ring get into the fishy?
Well, maybe when they threw me in the water, by mistake the messenger threw the king's ring in also.
Why would that be?
Maybe it got stuck on his horse.
Ah. Well, what should we do now with the king's ring?
Oh, I have a good idea. I could go back to the king now and tell him I found his ring.
No, what do you mean? You can't go back to the king. He's going to throw you back in the water because he thinks you stole all the gold and silver.
No. I'm going to make up a story, and I'm telling you the king's going to believe me because I know him. He believes everything. I'm going to make up a story, and he's not going to throw me in the water.
Okay, fine, no problem. But we have to make sure nobody sees you when we go to the king because everybody thinks you're not alive anymore.
Oh, you're right. So, how about I'll hide behind your jacket? This way nobody will see me.
Okay, very good. Hide behind my jacket, and we go to the king.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you having 4 legs and a very big hunchbacking? Are you a horsey?
No, I'm not a horsey. Just that I have a condition.
What's a condition?
I have a problem. You see, I have something called four-leg-itis. Now, what happens is when you have four-leg-itis is that you get 4 legs. So I'm going to the doctor now to take care of it.
Ah, okay. You go to the doctor now.
Wait, we're not going to the doctor. We're going to the king.
I know. I just told him we're going to the doctor. Don't worry. We're going to the king. Here we are by the palace.
Oh boy, somebody's knocking on the door. 1 second. Hello, sir. How can I help you? Wait a minute. Why do you have 4 legs again?
Well, I have a condition. It's called four-leg-itis, and because of that, I need to go to see the king. It's very important.
Ah, okay. You could go this way. The king is over here. And he comes into the king's room, and the king is sitting on his brand new throne.
Yeah, hello. What are you doing here?
Listen, king. You see, I have a very special surprise for you.
Oh, well, what's the surprise? I like surprises.
Now, actually, this surprise, I don't know if you're gonna like it.
Well, let me see.
And from behind the jacket, the Yiddish advisor jumps out.
Surprise! Ah! Oh, you scared me. Wait a minute, I thought you weren't alive. How are you here? Oh, I'll tell you the story, King. I'll tell you the story. This is a very true story that I'm about to tell you. Well, why are you saying it's true if it's already true? I just want to make sure that you know that it's a true story. The story is that when you threw me in the water, I was saved by the king of all the waters in the world. He's called the King of the 7 Seas, and he pulled me out of the water, and he brought me to his castle. You know what he told me? He said, I want you to make me a throne just like you made for your king, because I heard it's a very nice throne. So I said, oh, sure, no problem. I can make you a throne just like you had by your king, by my king. And sure enough, he made this throne for the King of the 7 Seas. But the truth is, he didn't make it. This is just a story that he made up, and he's telling this king this made-up story. Okay, so what happened next? And then when I was done the throne, I told him that I couldn't really paint it because I don't know how to paint. And sure enough, the King of the 7 Seas says, oh, you don't know how to paint? So who painted the throne that you made for your king? Oh, that's a good question. Well, actually, there was another advisor, and he painted the throne. Well, why don't you tell your king to send him here to me and have him paint my throne? Oh, sure, I can do that. And sure enough, I came back here. This is what the story of the Yid says. And I'm done painting the throne. And now I just need you to send your other advisor to go and paint the throne of the King of the 7 Seas. Wait a minute. Well, how are we going to do that? He said it's very simple. All you have to do is you tie up your advisor and you throw him in the same place in the water that you threw me in, and then he's going to come get him to paint the throne. Well, I don't believe you. That sounds like a made-up story. I know. I told the King of the 7 Seas that you're going to think it's a made-up story. So what I did was I told him, I don't think my king is going to believe me about this story about how we need to send the other advisor. And you know what he said? He said, no, that's not a problem. I can prove to your king that I'm real. As a matter of fact, the other day, one of my servants were in the ocean in the 7 Seas, and in there, they found the ring that belongs to your king. So you can give him this ring, and you tell him that I'm going to give him back his ring, but only if he sends back his advisor to paint my throne. Oh, really? So you have my ring? Yeah, it's right here. See, I have it in my pocket. See, the King of the 7 Seas said I can only give it to you if you send your advisor to paint the throne. Oh, okay. Where's my advisor? Advisor? Messenger?
Yeah, what is it?
Where's the advisor that painted the throne? You remember the one that said that there's something about the Yid, that he stole some money from me, some gold and silver?
Yeah, I remember him. What about him?
Well, we need to throw him in the water now and tie him up.
What? Why do we have to do that?
Well, you see, he needs to go paint another throne. So it's very simple. Just tie him up and throw him in the water.
And sure enough, the king's advisor goes over, the king's messenger goes over to the king's advisor, the one that tried to get the Yid in trouble, and he starts tying him up. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Well, I'm just going to tie you up a little bit here because we're going to throw you in the water. What? Why are you going to throw me in the water? Wait, if I'm tied up, how am I going to swim? This doesn't make any sense. No, it's very simple. You're going to go in the water, and then the king of the seven seas is going to take you out. You paint the throne. If you do a good job, you come back. If not, maybe we won't see you again. Okay, bye. I'm going to throw you in. And he goes on his horse with the advisor tied up on the back. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Doo! And the advisor was thrown in the water, all tied up. And he never came back, probably because he didn't do a good job painting the throne of the king of the seven seas. Maybe that's why. Or maybe he just never went anywhere because it was a made-up story. But that is the end of the story, and thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Two mics. One is for the video, one is for the... Well, where's the beer?
Where's the beer? Where's the beer? Let the beer do the raffle. Where's the numbers? Did they all fall out?
Here's a bag here.
Yeah, but did all these numbers fall out? Where's the papers for this one?
In the corner there, no?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Where's the beer?
One for the video, one for the speaker.
All right, all right. Where's the beer? Where's the beer? All right, the beer will start with the, we're going to pick for the girls first. All right, so the... Well, if it comes up and nobody has it, it'll be yours, okay, Tzivya? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is for girl number 13. G13. Who has it? Congratulations. Please come here. Take a picture with the bear. Take a picture with the bear. Congratulations. Welcome to the Shpoler Zeideh Seudah Shnas Hakhel. All right. Awesome. Now for the boys. Beautiful. Thank you. Take your prize. You can put it to the side. Thank you very much. Now for the boys. Woo! And the beer decides. B7. No, that's not fair. No. Okay, fine. Can't be my own kid. Okay, fine. You know what? Take a picture with the bear. Take a picture with the bear. Oh, that's not fair. Congratulations, Herschel. Thank you very much, and now let's enjoy the meal.
Good evening, everybody. If you have a chair, we ask you to please be seated. If you didn't wash yet, please go out into the lobby and wash. We are about to begin our program. There are parents who have been here since 5:45, and it's 7 o'clock. We are mindful of that. We appreciate that you were here all this time, and we wrote on the flyer that we're going to get started, so we plan to keep our word. If you have a chair, please be seated. If you see me looking at you, please don't ignore me. Thank you. If you're standing, please know that you're disturbing. we would like to get started. Moshe, how am I doing? There are parents who have been here for over an hour, and we would like to get started. It's only fair. It's fair enough to allow us to start the program. Shh. By now, you must have realized that somebody has asked everybody to please be seated, and we appreciate your cooperation. There are children in the lobby who have been here a long time, and it's fair that we get started. It is with great pleasure that I want to introduce to you our MC for this evening. He will also be sharing with us the story of Yud Shvat, and will continue to MC the evening throughout the night. Please welcome my uncle, Rosh Hashiva in 770, Rabbi Shalom David Gaisinski, who will keep the tradition of my grandfather. In addition to that, will MC tonight's evening. Please give him your undivided attention.
Good Yom Tov to everybody. All Choshev Einiklach. And as we often begin by saying, the connection of Yud Shvat with Parshas Yisro is very obvious. Starting off from the first Rashi. Rashi says, Vayishma Yisro, Ma Shmua Shamu Uva. What did Yisro in particular hear that made him come? Rashi says, Kriyas Yamsuf and Melchemes Amalek. Kriyas Yamsuf is a story with the Shpoler Zeideh. Kriyas Yamsuf. Melchemes Amalek, the Shpoler Zeideh's fervor, as it says in Hayom Yom, the Varmkeit of the Shpoler Zeideh is what eradicated and killed the coldness of Amalek. Kriyas Amalek. So Ma Shmua Shamu Uva, what brought all the Einiklach together here? Ma Shmua Shamu Uva, that we all came together, especially in a week of Kinnus HaShluchos. It's so difficult for them, and they found time to come, Einiklach of the Shpoler Zeideh, to spread Yiddishkeit throughout all the world, to take over here koiches back to their Mekaymes HaShlichus, Mashmua Shamava Kriyas Yamsuf Melchemes Amalek. Without further delay, we're going to begin the annual reading of the Megillas Yud Shvat, and I will say it, Mitzvah Hashem, verbatim, as my father, Olav Shalom, would repeat how he heard it from the Chassid Reb Baruch God Finkelstein, who was a fifth generation of the Shpoler Zeideh. And he remembers, not a fifth generation, even closer. Der Chamishi, a fifth generation of the Shpoler Zeideh. And he remembers in his childhood, he would tell my father, he remembered people who actually saw the Shpoler Zeideh. Could you imagine? That Baruch God Finkelstein would walk in the street when it was dangerous to walk in the street with a long black coat, a kabot in the middle of the week. And he would go on Mesiris Nefesh for a word from Shpoler Zeideh that it shouldn't be lost, Chas v'sholem, and not be changed, nicht verbitten werden. And this is how my father heard it from the Baruch God Finkelstein, the story, and we would repeat it verbatim every year. Ho'ish, the person who we're going to talk about tonight. Harav HaKodesh, Reb Yehuda Leib ben Rochel, Ben Baruch and Rochel Girundi, called the Shpoler Zeideh Zchus Yogen Aleinu. Hazman, the time this took place, this occurred, was like to this year, like the Rebbe would always say, Ki bepam harishoina, it was Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Yud Tes Shvat, Tov Kuf Nun Gimel. This year also falls on an Erev Shabbos. In the English date, it's February 1st, 1793. Hamakoim, where did this take place? Perhaps many Einiklach would say it took place in Shpoler. No, it did not. It did not take place in Shpoler. Anybody knows where it took place? Anybody knows where this episode, where this story took place? Buslev. Oh, very good, very good. Buslev. Yeah. But that was expected. Anybody else knows which exact river flows near the town of Busliv? What's the name of the river? Anybody? No, you're disqualified already. Yeah? What? Oh, Google. Ah. Anybody know? Oh, who said that? That's very good. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, the Shpoler Zeideh was that year. Erev Shabbos Kodesh Yud Shvat. He was in a city called Busliv. Busliv in Russian they call it Boguslav. A city not far from the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv. Kyiv. Now, near the town of Busliv flows a river, a ganz große Teich, pretty large river, called, as this young man just said, Ros. And across the side, on the other side of the river Ros, was a little town, a hamlet. We don't know the name of that town, hamlet. And one of the settlers in that town, one of the inhabitants of that town, invited the Shpoler Zeideh. He heard the Shpoler Zeideh is across the river. So he invited the Shpoler Zeideh and gave him the honor to be a sandik or a moyel at his son's bris. It's not sure if it was a sandik or a moyel, because the Shpoler Zeideh was a moyel as well, and a shoichet, as his teacher, the Pinchas Kodetz, had told him. He ordered him to be a shoichet and a moyel as well. Now, it's important to note that this was not without risk that the Shpoler Zeideh should accept this invitation. Because in Ukraine, in that area, Yud Shvat, the weather begins already to warm. It's warm. The weather becomes warmer. And the Vyesne, who knows what Vyesne means from the American kids? Vyesne. Vyesne means what? Spring. The spring, we will say the story as my father said it word for word. Then the Vyesne begins, the spring, and the ice, the river Ros, the ice begins to crack, to break, and it's dangerous to go over the river. You can't walk over the river, you can't swim, and you had to take a sled. And to go over the river was quite dangerous, because chas v'sholem, you have to know, you might fall into the cracks. So, bedoichik, in a difficult way, you're still able to travel with a sled, and the Shpoler Zeideh accepted upon himself the invitation. He took the invitation, he says, as the brother God would say, kein Zach wird nicht abhalten, the Shpoler Zeideh von Torah Mitzvah. And he went across the river. It was that Friday, Yud Shvat. And on the way there, everything was okay. The Shpoler Zeideh was the sandik or the moyel. Everything went well. On the way back, something happened. As they were going back to Busliv, the ice broke and gave way, and it was a gewaltige große sakone for the Shpoler Zeideh and his entourage, chas v'sholem, because they were all chalila going to drown. It was very dangerous. Es given a gewaltige große sakone for the Shpoler Zeideh and all the people around him with him. Hello. Yeah. Right. It's self-understood that the Shpoler Zeideh did not just travel alone. He had a whole entourage of Hasidim. And of course, his Gabbai, called Yoel, but they nicknamed him Yolik. The Gabbai Yolik went along, traveled with him as well. And the Shpoler Zeideh hat gesehen, mit seiner heilige, lichtige Augen, als es da gzardin nach Manolasam and Hashamayim, the Shpoler Zeideh saw with his holy eyes that is Agdin, that chas v'sholem, his life is in danger. And the Shpoler Zeideh proclaimed to all the people, he called out to all the people that were with him, Wer will mich verbaten Zugichem zi oilam habu. Whoever is willing to take my place, I guarantee him, not I promise him, I guarantee him oilam habu. My father, Lev Shalom, would always say every year that the Shpoler Zeideh didn't Chas v'Shalom force anyone to take his place. He said, whoever is going to take his place, he promises in my Lamabo, it's actually a schus for the foot to support the head. So it's a schus only for anyone that was going to take the Shpoler Zeideh's place, that the Shpoler Zeideh should be able to continue doing such great things in this world for many years to come. It's only a schus for that person, and by that person who would take his place would fulfill his mission in this world. And there's many sources to that which we can elaborate. Now is not the time. Yolik, the Shpoler Zeideh's Gabbai, hat sich abgerufen. He immediately responded, Zeideh, ich will euch verbaten. I will take your place. Kimu l'mayla mashe kiblu l'mata. The heavenly court accepted the decree here below, and that's how it was. Yolik drowned, and the Shpoler Zeideh was saved. There are some that add over here that the Shpoler Zeideh spread out his little kerchief, his tichele, so it should have some type of natural hold, how he actually went over the ice. No details are said about it. And they went over the river, and they went to Boslev. They got to Boslev. When they came to Boslev, it was already time to daven mincha and Kabbalah Shabbos. And it was the custom of the Shpoler Zeideh, as many other holy, righteous people, good to Eden, that they would not daven in the midst with everybody else in the same large shul, but they would daven in an adjacent room. And when it came time to daven, they would open the door or the window, and they would nod that they're ready to daven, and you can even actually join them to the minyan. Bisman she'elu royin es elu. They can even be part of the minyan according to halacha. And that's how it was with the Shpoler Zeideh. That's what his custom. And here in Boslev as well, he opened the door and he nodded. We could daven mincha. They daven mincha. Fine. After mincha, it's time for Kabbalah Shabbos. They're waiting. Shabbat, Kabbalah Shabbos, we accept early. And the Shpoler Zeideh is not opening the door, not indicating to start Kabbalah Shabbos. The crowd was surprised. The oilam hat sich gechidisht, but everybody was quiet. They waited. Es ist geworden ganz dunkel. It started to becoming already dark. And Shpoler Zeideh is still not opening the door, but who's going to have the audacity to tell the Shpoler Zeideh we got to start davening? But as is geworden gar spät, gar spät, when it became very late, very, very late, haben sich etliche ältere Chassidim angenommen mit Courage und angeklappt mit dem größten Covid und Tier. Some elderly Chassidim took some courage, and with great respect, they knocked on the door, and they said, Zeideh, es ist schon Zeit zu davenen. It's time to daven. The Shpoler Zeideh opened the door, and he said, in his expression, as they say in Ukraine, the Ukrainian Yiddish, Ich seh noch nicht Jolikin in Gan Eden. I don't see yet Jolikin in Gan Eden. No. So the crowd knew we got to wait. 2 or 3 hours passed. And the Shpoler Zeideh opened the door and he said, Jolik is shining Gan Eden. Heute Kabbalah Shabbos. Jolik is already in Gan Eden. We may begin Kabbalah Shabbos. Another nusach, very, very good. Another nusach. Jolik is shining Gan Eden. Zukt lechineh ranenu. The following year, the Shpoler Zeideh commanded to all his descendants of that generation and the generations to follow, as mizol pravin yites shvat asiida, that people should commemorate and gather and celebrate Yud Shvat with a meal of washing and so on. As it's brought down on Shulchan Aruch, Siman Eish Yud Ches, that descendants of a tzaddik, that a miracle occurred to them, you have to make a Seudah Hidah to thank Hashem. And Chassidim, for example, we are all the children of the Rebbe. We celebrate Chodesh Kislev and Yutas Kislev and so on. And the Shpoler Zeideh said, und der Iker is, the main thing is, says the Shpoler Zeideh, as man soll einladen oder malai to the Zeideh, invite poor people to this meal, geben Essen und Trinken, and to give them to eat and to drink. That's the main purpose. Also, the Shpoler Zeideh commanded that what? That you should not hire. Very good. The Shpoler Zeideh commanded, as men soll mit dingen kein servers. Don't hire any waiters. To this meal, everybody should serve each other. And my father, Lo Shalom, would always say, most likely the pshat is because he wants we should feel like a family gathering. When we have a family gathering, we don't hire any waiters. My dear son, Yosef Yitzchak, said something very nice, and we connect this also to Parshas Yisroi. In Parshas Yisroi, we find that as well. Moshe Rabbeinu made a meal. And yet it says, Vayovei Aaron v'chol ziknei Yisrael. Aaron came to the meal. And Ashi asked, Moshe heichen hoya, where is Moshe? Where is Moshe Rabbeinu? And Ashi says, Moshe was oimed u'meshamish. He didn't hire any waiters. Moshe was serving everybody at the meal. Moshe made everybody feel comfortable. We actually find in the Menhagim of the Shpoler Zeideh that he used to serve himself people who were invited to his home, poor people. He never hired waiters. He alone would always serve people. And to conclude with a suggestion of my father, Olav Shalom, every year he would say, now that we live here, Baruch Hashem, in a country like the United States and the free world, where Baruch Hashem, everybody has what to eat. There are no poor people in such a situation that Chas Shalom are starving and don't have what to eat or to drink. Baruch Hashem. So my father would suggest that we should here at the Seudah, give right away or at least promise, b'li neder, money to an institution that's designated to feed poor people in particular, and maybe suggest the Koilel Chabad, that is a Rebbe's institution which is designated to feed poor people, especially in Artzeinu Akdosh, in our holy land. So we can designate money now, tzedakah, for Koilel Chabad. And also my father would suggest, of course, as we mentioned before, that one person should also make sure to serve at least one item to the person or to the lady who's sitting next to her or to the person sitting next to him. The Eibusher soll helfen, that the Schus of the Shpoler Zeideh soll uns beistehen, should stand by and protect us and defend us, and we should be all zoicha to this galus of Pnei Mashiach Tzidkenu, Tekev Umiyad, now Mamish. Get Yom Tov to everybody, get Yom Tov. Okay. Now we will start with the customary nigunim, and we will ask my dear son, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, I'll bring you the microphone, to sing the Kahab Kazak and the version also of Ezer Saviseinu that is also from the Shpoler Zeideh. It was sung by the Shpoler Zeideh's Einiklach all the years, and it seems that both versions are correct. There's Hab Kazak and Ezer Saviseinu. And by the way, Hab Kazak is the Shpoler Zeideh would dance with a Hab Kazak, and he wasn't the first Zeideh to dance with Hab Kazak. We find in the Gemara, in Basi Legani, the Maimer brings it down. The first Sava, the first Zeideh who danced with so-called with a niggin, was Rav Shmuel Bar Yitzchak, who would juggle and dance before the Kala. And the Gemara is with three myrtle branches and juggle. And the Gemara says, Ahanyele Shtusei Lisava, that the Koyach of Shtus Nikdusha helped him to bring this big pillar of fire down. So Zayin is Galus, a light of Mashiach Sekein and take of him Yad Mamish.
All right, we're going to start with the Niggin Up Kazak. This mic? Okay, fine. This mic? Good. A bit louder, so it's a schwach microphone. All right, now boys, the other niggin is a niggin that, like my father said, is another girsa perhaps of Hop Kazakh. Some say it's just a separate niggin, and the niggin goes like this.
Shalom. Shalom David. Shalom David.
Dear Eneklach, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker tonight. Many ways and beautiful deeds and ma'asim to introduce tonight's speaker. I think the best way to introduce him is with the words of the Alter Rebbe in Igre Geras HaKodesh, Siman Chav Gimel. The Alter Rebbe says that if someone, chas v'shalom, breaks a minyan of people attending a shir, and he breaks the minyan because he wants to learn something else, or chas v'shalom he leaves the shul, the Alter Rebbe says, I call upon him all the severities and whatever the Chazal say that apply to someone who breaks a minyan for davening. And the Alter Rebbe says, K'moy she'omeru Chazal al kol davar shebikdusha. Why? Says the Alter Rebbe, Ki ein kedusha ki kedushas haTorah. There is nothing as holy as the holiness of Torah. Rabbi Ephraim Mintz has, Baruch Hashem, many shvachim to be spoken of. But based on what we just said from the Alter Rebbe, I think the most beautiful and honorable shevach is that there are very few people who disseminate Kedushas HaTorah, not just amongst the minyan, but amongst tens of thousands of Yidden. The executive director of JLI, Jewish Learning Institute, and Amar B'tz Torah Barabim here in the Shchuna as well. Without further delay, A'enikol as well. Rabbi Minzel sein gesund. Peace.
Shkoyach, Rav Gazinski. I should say, Moide V'Rabbi, having learned from you, and my children also learned by you. So I'll try to be very brief. You know, speaking by an event in Crown Heights is like walking against traffic on Eastern Parkway. So I'll try to dodge the vehicles, and if I come out as good evening, as Rabbi Gazinski mentioned, it's mishpacha. So I would like to say a few words. As Chassidim coming together, we know in general Chassidim ein mishpacha. and especially in this room, where the idea of Ein Mishpacha is even more underscored and emphasized. So I'm sure Rabbi Gazinski said the story already. It was said mit Ali Diyukim. I was zeicher to hear over the years. So it is known, the Rebbe writes in one of his Rishimis, in the notes on Tanya, that he heard, and he quotes word for word that he heard from the Frierdiker Rebbe. And he says the following, that within the Rishim, he doesn't quote, he calls him Hazakin Mishpolya. In the Frierdiker Rebbe, in the number 6, it's called Hazakin Mishpolya, the elder of Shpolya. So it says, he writes that the Rebbe heard from the Frierdiker Rebbe the following words. Hazakin Mishpolya bo al Admur Hazakin. The Shpoler Zeideh once came to the Alter Rebbe, to his city, and the Rebbe writes, he doesn't remember if it was Tuliyadi or Tuliyajna, and he said the following. You started to write, the Alter Rebbe, alongside writing Sefer HaTanya, Sefer Shel Beinanim, also wrote Sefer Shel Tzadikim. And the Shpoler Zeideh told the Alter Rebbe that the Welt kann es nicht vertragen. The world cannot tolerate the incredible Gettlichkeit, the Kedusha, the incredible, awesome Heiligkeit that the Alter Rebbe is including in this Sefer Shel Tzadikim. And there was a Kitreg L'mayla. There was a Gzeira L'mayla about this Sefer, and the Maskana was, they paskin L'mayla, that this Sefer needs to be burnt. And the Shpoler Zeideh told Alter Rebbe, Va'ani, and I, the Shpoler Zeideh, Ale ba'oisoi lahav hashamayma. I will ascend together with this, in this fire, I will likewise return my soul. I will be nostalgic in this fire. And we know, Taka, the history, and this is that during the passing, the histalkus of the Shpoler Zeideh, that was the time, Taka, that the Sefer Shel Tzadikim was, Taka, burnt. Now, when we think about it, similar words were said not only about Sefer Shel Tzadikim, but it was also said about Sefer Shel Beinanim. When the Heilige Barditcheva, we know there was a special connection between the Shpoler Zeideh, the Barditcheva, and the Alter Rebbe. We know at least one occasion they were all sitting together, perhaps many, but we know of one famous story where the Shpoler Zeideh was fasting, and he didn't want to join the Seudah, and he was walking around and around. We all know the story. So the Barditcheva, when he received the Tanya, not the Sefer Shel Tzadikim, but the Sefer Shel Beinanim, the Barditcheva said he marveled, and he said he was amazed how the Alter Rebbe was able to take Azah Groise Got and package it, reinstellen Azah Kleine Sefer. To take Azah Groise Got and put it into such a small Sefer, which is similar to what the Shpoler Zeideh said about Sefer Shel Tzadikim. That somehow Azah Kleine Sefer was managed to encapsulate, to capture the Kedusha, the Gettlichkeit from Azah Groise Got. So Mashpiyim asked, what do you mean Azah Kleine Sefer? If Tanya would have been a 60-volume set, then it would make sense. If Tanya would be 1,000 volumes, then it would make sense. Just because Tanya is a Kleine Sefer, what's the pshat? Azah Groise Got, Azah Kleine Sefer. So I heard from Mashpiyim, they explained the following. That about the Alter Rebbe, what Alter Rebbe did in Tanya, and even more so, obviously what Alter Rebbe was trying to do with Sefer Shel Tzadikim, was to take Azah Groise Got, to take the Eibishter that's so great, and really a likus was the Welt kennet vertragen, as the Shpoler Zeideh said, and put it into, make it practical, translate it into day-to-day life. And the mashal that's given, imagine a person hears that one day his elder Baba left him B'Yerusha $1 million. And he goes to collect the money. I don't know if such a thing exists, but they give him a bill, $1 million bill, a piece of paper, not $100 bill, not $1 million bill. What do you think he would do with that $1 million bill? He wouldn't put it in his wallet. He would right away go to the bank and put it in a safe deposit box. The following morning, if the person has to buy a coffee, stellt sich auf in der Früh, davent, will kaufen, he wants to buy a coffee. And he doesn't have change in his pocket. It would never occur to him to go to the bank, take the $1 million and cash it in to buy a coffee. He'll take a loan. He'll never take the $1 million and break it into singles to buy a coffee. A day later, he has to buy a shirt. It will never occur to him to take $1 million and buy a $30 shirt. He'll find a way where to get it. Al derech zeh, elikus, getlichkeit, Sefer Shel Tzadikim, Sefer Shel Beinanim was $1 million bill. No one ever cashed it into singles to walk down the street and live with it and buy a coffee with it, to buy a shirt with it, to bring it down to the alleyways of Olam Haza. Comes the Alter Rebbe and takes Hazah Groise Got $1 million bill, and he cashed it into singles. We can gain of the gasim from Olam Haza and live with these big ideas. Hazah Groise Got in Hazah Kleine Sefer. The Gemara says in Sukkah, when the Gemara marvels at the greatness of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, says the Gemara, Omru Olav al Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Shlo hiniach dover cotton v'dover godel. He was bucky, he was well versed in every area of Torah. Mikra, Mishnah, Agoda, Halacha, Dikdukei Torah, Dikdukei Sofrim, Kaldim v'chamuris Gzeir Shovis, even Sichas Malachi Ashoris. Dover cotton v'dover godel. Frag the Gemara, what's dover cotton and what's dover godel? Says the Gemara, dover godel is Maisim Merkava. And dover cotton is Avayis Ta'abayi V'rova. Maisim Merkava, the secrets of the mysteries of Torah. And dover cotton is the discussions of Avayis V'rova. Frag the Rebbe Rashab, Avayis Ta'abayi V'rova is a dover cotton? Ganz Teurische Baal Peh is geboit geworden auf dem. How could you refer to our entire lifestyle as a Yid? How we eat matzah, how we eat Chanukah licht, how we wear tzitzis, how we make a bracha. Everything is based on Avayis Da'abai V'rova. How could the Gemara classify it as a dover shel mabekach, making it sound like something insignificant? Zog the Rebbe Rashab, dover cotton means that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was able to take Maisim Merkava Hazah Groise Got, and he was able to make it applicable to every area of Jewish life. That Abayi V'rova, which is a dover cotton, which is what Alter Rebbe did for us in Sefer Shel Tzadikim, which the world wasn't able to tolerate, but Sefer Shel Beinanim, which the world was able to tolerate. Rabbi Yisrael, I want to conclude with saying the following. Everyone in this room, we are zoicha to carry a special label. We are the Ein Niklach of one of the greatest figures in Jewish history that represented what many may consider to be a dover cotton. He did favors. He put his life on the line. Avos Yisrael. Usually when we talk about Gdoilim, Gdoili Yisrael is usually defined by their lomdus, by their brilliance, by their sfarim they authored, by the talmidim they had. The godless of the Shpoler Zeideh was that he was able to take the Maisim Merkava and he translated into dover cotton, which is the most important thing. The Baal Shem Tov said that Kol Torah she'ein ima melacha soifa b'teila. Any Torah that we learn, and the Frierdiker Rebbe explains it. The Frierdiker Rebbe says, Yedeh shtikul Torah. Every time we learn a piece of Torah and it doesn't translate to Avos Yisrael, is dos kein Torah nish, says the Frierdiker Rebbe, explaining the words of the Baal Shem Tov. Who in history personifies this message more than the Shpoler Zeideh? So Rabbi Yisai, as Ein Niklach of the Shpoler Zeideh, as we celebrate tonight, Fabreng together, L'schusoi, U'lichvoidoi, and we're giving gratitude to Hashem Yisborach as He asked us to do. I remember hearing from our Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yisrael Friedman, who said many times, we say in davening, after we speak about our yichus, being the children of Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Yosel, we heard it together for Rabbi Yisrael many times. He said, "Meinem volt mir gemeint, dass steht lefichoch, anachnu zakoim." Mir sein Enklach. He says, no. Rabbi Yisrael used to say, "Steht lefichoch, anachnu chayovim." because we're einiklach von azelche große Yidden, lefichach anachnu chayovim. We are einiklach of the person in history that the mere mention of his name warmt on the hearts. The mere mention of his name calls attention to Avos Yisrael, to Briderschaft, to brotherhood, to love, to care, to concern, to Ava, V'achva, Shalom, V'reyus. Let's resolve tonight, among the other Hachlotis Toivis that inspire us, that we should we are the ones that should be on the forefront of bringing Avos Yisrael to the world, Avos Yisrael to any Yid we meet, and yes, even Avos Yisrael, perhaps the most important, Avos Yisrael among Adas Hachsidim. I was once by a chasana, and there was a Lubavitcher Kala and a Ungarisch Satmar Chosen, and they were dancing together, the Streimlach, the Lubavitcher and the Satmar, and someone told me, gib a cookie, Moisa Moshiach. So I said, no. Die Satmar wollen tanzen mit der Satmar, und der Lubavitcher mit der Lubavitcher, jemult sein Moisa Moshiach. So Rabbi say, we are the ones who should carry this message forward to the world, in our homes, among our neighbors, on the streets of Crown Heights, all the streets of Olam Haza. We should broadcast the message, the Varimkeit, the brand of Avos Yisrael. It's the most important thing. The Rebbe told it to us. Every one of us could give a shir on it. We all know the Mar Mekoimis, that we know, but to practice it, we should be the ones on the forefront to show the world what the Shpoler Zeideh dedicated his life and what his legacy is, and we should be zoichet to march b'kariv with the Shpoler Zeideh and all Rabbi Seinu Nisienu b'kariv mamish ba'agola didan.
beves yechini bevesi oy kinder kum zu mir heim volo mir is umberti zu sitzen ave da 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 once added by Farbrengen, I believe it was Tufshin Yud Gimel, I think. He added by Farbrengen another girsa that the response of the Eibishter is Bonai Bonai ta'anaschem einam ilah, my sons, Yetaina doesn't help. The Yetaina that the Yitzhahor is not letting you go into the Shad of Hashem. Ki ala koil moil tshuva, because on everything tshuva helps. But the Rebbe was not happy from that addition, and the Rebbe said that according to that, it ends up that the Yidden are left without an answer, and the Eibishter is, the Midas Hadin basically is right. And the Eibishter and the Rebbe wanted that it should end Dafke with a Taina of Yidden. Dafke with a Taina of Yidden, I'm sorry, there's a Hisofa somebody wants to add? Of course.
You said that with Baal Chayv, no? Oh, I thought you were saying the Rebbe's... okay, no. If it's not the Rebbe's Lashon...
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is that the Shpoler Zeideh used to sing this Nigun by Tikkun Chatzos, so it's got a very special place. The Iker is, we soll sich sehen, Takem and Shpoler Zeideh and all the Tzadikim and go hop Kozak out of Golos.
Unscheduled announcement, but b'shem myself, and I'm sure I speak for everybody who is here today, I would like to thank very much the new powers in this organization that have transformed this Seudah into such an amazing experience. I say Yossi Butman and Moshe Afton, thank you, thank you, thank you.
If I knew I was going to speak, I would have asked Moshe Simpson to give me his prep speech. But first of all, a big honor that my Bubby Blazinski was able to come here tonight, which it's a Langalus to Yarin. She should live and be able to join us for many years in health and happiness. He is right, Mendy is right, that Yossi did put this together, but Shnayim Eichsim Batalis, there are two brothers here that were screaming Kulei Shuli. There was Yossi and Velvel that tirelessly put this together. Unfortunately, Velvel got stuck somewhere else tonight, but he should not be unmentioned and he should not be forgotten because Velvel really put this together. And with that, we'll start with benching.
We're going to bench 1 minute, but I have to make one short announcement. For my entire childhood, there were two people who were in charge of the Shpoler Zeideh Seudah. And we want to mention them. While in the last few years, or three people, while in the last few years, my brother and Moshe, which by the way, Hareitze Be'ilim Shmai, I want to wish you that the Eibusha should repay you for everything that you've done for this Seudah tonight, because I know and Velvel knows how much you stand behind this, and we greatly appreciate it. But I want to also thank the people who stood behind the Shpoler Zeideh Seudah for all the years, and that is my mother and Mrs. Leah Kalmanson. And please give, and Mendel Brzezinski, and Leah and Matel Kalmanson for all the years that you put in. And God willing, Maishi told me to announce that next year, the Shpoler Zeideh Seudah will be held in Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh in the ballroom of the Lubavitcher Yeshiva. We are going to bench now. Thank you for joining us. Good night, everybody. Together with the Shpoler Zeideh. Okay, benching by Rabbi Yochanan Gaizinski.
Sing? I'll hold you. Rabbi Simon Velen Benson. He shame and name of Bayach Matter Vadail Mishus Bon Rabbi Simon the Vach Alehenu Shachal Mishlai. Vach Alehenu Shachal Mishlai to Echino. Come and say, "Zeideh Hamas Biel Chol Chai Ratzin Bachatad Nei Hazon Hakhel." Nei Allah, it's well a Moses. Yishlaim Ir HaKodesh Meir Remeinu Baruch Adonai Beini V'Achim Yishlaim Amen.
Very prayer government should be in the microphone. People should know. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. I was asked to remind everybody that this is the appropriate time for 8 o'clock to wish each other. I'm doing this at the advice of a mashpia. That this is the time for everybody to wish each other, for anybody who needs brachas, the Bona Chayim, Zeina Revicha, for all good things in life, for shidduchim, for health, and for anything else. This is the time for 8 o'clock to wish each other, and may we all be zeichet to see the Gula Amitis Vashlema. Take it from Yad Mamish. Thank you.
This year is a Shnas Hakhel. And the Rebbe declared that Hakhel is the whole year is permeated with Hakhel, the gathering of Noshim V'Taf. Maybe she should help that the Hakhel should permeate all our endeavors. In Shidduchim it should be Hakhel, in children, in health, in Gesundheit, in Panosa. Hakhel, a lot. The Gashmi is the Echus, and we should be Zoichet that Hashem this year. When Mr. Hashem go together, Hakhel Esa'om, Hanoshim V'Taf, with the Rebbe, Nesi Dereinu Mashiach Tzidkeinu, Artzeinu HaKdoisha, take it from Yad now, Mamash, get Yom Tov to everybody, get Yom. And it's Shpoler Zeideh B'Sleichom.